Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was massive, and we can see the full world map right here for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with various locations and regions that were all very unique, fun to explore, varied in biomes. And I mean, we had red clay canyons, we had open grasslands, a shipwrecked area, we had a freaking amusement park, beaches, and like some mountainous, weird, spiky mountainous regions and stuff from the Mount Neba. We had a forest, a jungle. Oh my god! You think we had it all, but we haven't yet, because there's so much more to this world, and part 3 is going to open it all up to us. And it's so freaking exciting, because I get this question quite a bit of like, what's next? Like, how is part 3 going to be bigger than Rebirth? Like, we've already gotten 90% of the world map. What else can they really give us besides those other locations? I'm here to tell you why I think it's super exciting. Those other locations that we didn't get to go to are going to be very, very exciting. And I'm going to show you my prediction of what the world map could look like for part 3. And one thing I do want to note right now, here on the Rebirth world map, you see the curvature of this. This is on a globe, and that makes me very excited, because what that means to me, we have the world map right now, and it's the planet. It is literally the world. It made me think about part 3, and if you can just click and drag and rotate the world around, you can rotate the entire spherical world map. It is a globe. I don't know, man, it's blowing my mind. And because when you look at this world map, you do not see certain locations. Now, I'm not going to dive into spoilers, but I gotta say that this video could have some things that you might consider spoilery, like locations that we did not visit in Rebirth, and predicting what we will visit in part 3. So if you're not open to that and you don't want to watch it, I understand if you click away right now. But I'm going to kind of talk about that. I'm not really going to talk about story spoilers at all, just locations and stuff. So to get started with that, I'm going to remove the Rebirth world map and reveal my part 3 world map. So here we go, part 3 world map right there. And as you can see, we got some new locations, and it might not be like super exciting at the moment. Hang with me here, because I told you about all the different biomes we had, but we didn't get a snowy biome, and that's kind of exciting. So we can zoom in here on the Great Glacier Region that I think is going to open up at the start of part 3. We know that the Great Glacier Region is going to have the Icicle Inn. And of course, you're snowboarding on down, and you get to the Gaia's Cliff, the big, white out, snow-blind dungeon area, which is going to be, I'm really excited to see how that's all going to go down. You got to think about the characters, and they're going to probably want to bundle up some new outfits for these characters that, like, Rebirth introduced the concept of new outfits and stuff. So characters going to want to bundle up. I wonder if they'll keep that mini game in where Cloud has to, warm up every now and then. So yeah, I mean, that's super exciting, right? We get a snowy location. Of course, that leads right into the Whirlwind Maze, the Northern Crater. I'm just like, I mean, just that in itself is fresh, it's exciting, it's new and different than anything that Rebirth offered. So right out of the gate in part 3, you get all of that, which is super exciting. And then I threw Modeoheim in there because this was featured in Crisis Core Reunion, or in Crisis Core. This is where Zack met Cloud, so that's a big deal, right? I mean, there's probably going to be something that goes down there. It might not be at the beginning of the game, but maybe when you return to it. Chocobo Sage was kind of moved around, and Bone Village wasn't shown in Rebirth, so there's kind of that, like, okay, well, did they get moved around? Like, do we still get to visit those locations? Do they not exist? I mean, the freaking Temple of the Ancients is up here in the north now, which was what? So that kind of stuff was a little bit like, that's different. That is completely different in Rebirth compared to where they are in part 3. So things can move around, apparently, right? Things can change, and we can, we can assume that might be the case. if we're following the original story, you go here, you get captured, and you wake up over here in the Junon region, right? Where Cloud is felt in the live stream now, but you're in the Junon region. I don't need to recap the events of the original game, but you get the High Wind at Junon. You get the High Wind, which opens up a whole new region, what I like to call the Sky. Who's excited about that? Come on, man. The skies. Imagine being able to fly the globe, to fly the world map now, once at the beginning of the game? What? And have full control over, like, the plane, to be able to fully pilot the High Wind. Now, it might keep you on rails to take you where you need to go next, or imagine if it's... Man, imagine if it doesn't. Imagine if it's like, hey, you have the High Wind now. We got to search for Cloud. We don't know where he's at. Let's just go around. I don't know how the story is going to be written. But if it follows the original, your next location is the Mideel region. And that is on the opposite side of the planet. So if Mideel region is going to be on the opposite side of the planet, and I'm thinking when you rotate the globe around, you're going to see two new continents, a western and an eastern continent, and it's going to be Wutai and the Mideel region. Granted, Mideel is significantly smaller than the eastern continent on this side of the globe, but I still think it's going to be pretty interesting location to visit. We're talking island type locations and you know, live stream and all that other good stuff. A lot of good stuff happens here. But also here is the Benora. A little Benora, for those who know, you know what I mean? So Benora is going to be located up here, Mideel down here. This is going to be fun. This is going to be like, you know, probably island hopping exploration. So that is unique to part 3 because there was not, I mean, there was a little bit, maybe, I don't know. Not like technically hopping different islands. I think, you know, that could be really fun to change things up a bit. So you have the Mideel region here. And then we all know how the story goes, but you have the High Wind now, and I think like being able to explore, we got to go find the huge materia and all that good stuff. So at some point we're going to go back to Rocket Town, or going to go visit Rocket Town for the very first time, because Rebirth didn't give us Rocket Town. So that opens up what I like to call the Rocket Town region, which is going to have Rocket Town, of course. It's going to have Lucretia's Cave and the Materia Caves and all that good stuff. This is the only region that I'm like wondering how they're going to make that unique and how they're going to make that entertaining, because it kind of gives you the same vibe of Grasslands, or I don't know, like vibes that we've seen before, almost like a hodgepodge of all of the regions, because it's got up here, it's got like the desert type area, which I can bring up to show you exactly what I'm looking at here. So the Rocket Town region, I mean, we got little desert areas, we got caves, we got mountains, we got beaches. It's almost like a hodgepodge of everything that we in the Grasslands and stuff. So I wonder what kind of new stuff they're going to introduce to make the Rocket Town region exciting and new. Now, from the Rocket Town region, I also want to show you let's go to Wutai, right? Now, Wutai, in the original game, and again, I'm going to bring this image up, look how massive Wutai is. This might be something that kind of goes over people's heads, because Wutai is technically just this little small location. It's a very small town, quaint, if you will, but I don't think it will be in part 3. I think Wutai is going to be a superpower. Like, it's going to be big enough to say, oh yeah, these guys can take on Shinra. Like this is definitely a worthy competitor, a worthy fighter against Shinra. But yeah, so like I think Wutai is going to be expanded massively, and of course Wutai goes from almost the southern point of the western continent, and it's almost the size of the western continent, if not bigger. So when you look at that on the world map here, I mean, if this is the Cosmo Canyon area, Wutai is huge, right? This is That's why I broke it up into 2 different regions. I broke it up to North Wutai Region and the South Wutai Region. South Wutai Region being mostly that mountainous area with the big bridges going between the mountaintops. That's going to be a fun dungeon, I imagine. Probably after Yuffie steals your materia or something like that. But you head on up here to the North Wutai region, and don't forget about Fort Tamblin, which will probably be over here in the South Wutai region, or maybe in the north. I don't know. Let's keep it interesting and put something in the south. So Fort Tamblin, and then yeah, Wutai itself, which is going to be this just extravagant, grand in scale. You know, it's going to be amazing. I think Wutai is going to really dazzle. It's really going to blow minds. So excited about Wutai. Probably my most anticipated location at the moment. Now you got Wutai. Where else? What else did I add? So I want to talk about. Oh yeah. So now that I've gotten those out of the way, let's also talk about the underwater. Okay, so we had the Meridian Ocean we were able to cross in the Tiny Bronco. But now, we all know we get the submarine. Now, the submarine, we can keep it around here, and it probably will be kind of like it was in the area. Like, it's going to be a small, condensed area underwater, but we had the sunken Gelnica. We had the Emerald Weapon down there, the underwater reactor. You get to go underwater. You got the skies, underwater, Wutai, Mideel, the Great Glacier Region. This is awesome, right? Like, are you excited right now? And we might go to space. We should be able to go to space. I don't know if we're going to explore space, but we're going to space in the next game as well. This game is going to be huge. So the submarine might allow us to go under here. I get a little concerned about, because in Rebirth they introduced all of these little tiny islands that popped up, which might be hard to navigate in part 3 if they are going to have us explore the underwater area here. And it's almost kind of like, it is an ocean, but it's not like that large. So it kind of makes me think, I wonder if they're going to open up different like bodies of water for you to take the submarine. That's kind of stuff, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think they're going to let you just do the entire world map. That's huge. But very excited about that, which also opens up Fort Condor, because that was not in Rebirth. Fort Condor is going to be there. So we'll get to explore Fort Condor for the first time. And then Midgar region will also be opened up, right? I mean, we got to kind of get to the Midgar region a little bit in Rebirth. It's technically the grasslands, but it is also technically the Midgar region. The music changes and everything. So, but now can we open up all of this? We open up all of the Midgar region. We are returning to Midgar, or at least, you know, according to the original, we do parachute in. So we get to explore a new part of Midgar, a new upper plate, the freaking, that's another thing you can consider. The return to Midgar. That's awesome. And, so after that, we can talk about the other little hidden locations. Now, you have the high one to go exploring the skies. Now, the skies have to be kind of interesting because, well, I mean, otherwise, you could fast travel, right? Like, you gotta give the player a reason to use the high wind, other than the fact that it's going to be freaking awesome. And I will not use fast travel, but even, you know, it's gonna be an option. You might want to use it. So what's going to make the skies exciting? Because in Rebirth, the incentive to not use fast travel was to, you know, explore and find all these world intels and all that other stuff. So what's the skies going to do? I think, well, wouldn't it be fun to do dogfighting? Like air battles against Shinra, or like maybe Gelnicas, or in whatever the heck they call their jets that were in the Junon Junon city, when you got to actually, I think you got on the elevator and you were lowered with one of those fighter jets. We could fight one of those. We know that the High Wind is fully armed because of Sid's final limit break. It's got a freaking salvo. So I think it is battle ready. So the High Wind, you're fighting in the skies, you know, as you travel around. I don't know what else you can do to make that exciting, but that is really exciting to me. And of course, I'm going to talk about this more in a different video, but you do fight the ultimate weapon in the sky, and in the original game, like, you fight it on the deck of the Highwind. So in order to just twist that, and you have to create that mechanic anyway, it makes me think that they're going to reuse it throughout the game, maybe even a mini game. I think they're going to make the skies a really fun place to just to say, oh, screw it, I'm not fast traveling, I got to take the skies. And you know, you got to, man, you got to, especially with the Highwind music playing too. Oh god, I can't wait, cannot wait. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, I would love to see, this is kind of slight spoiler about the game mechanics of Rebirth, but you don't get to breed chocobos in Rebirth. The black chocobo stays in the Junon region. The you know, the sky chocobo, the water chocobo, these all have their own different regions. Let's open that up. Let's have chocobo breeding. You bring in chocobo breeding, you can improve yourself in the expanded and newly improved chocobo racing and all that other stuff. But most importantly, get yourself a gold chocobo and be able to cross oceans and mountains with ease, and get yourself over here to the Round Island, get the Knights of the Round materia, and explore this world and find all the little hidden secrets within it. That is where this is awesome to me. I think the Part 3 world map is going to be incredible, and now it's time to show you what I think the world map will look like on the globe. So let's do that real quick. I'm gonna bring this in, make that full screen, and now this is what I've done. Okay, I have the world map on a globe. This is so cool. This is maptoglobe.com. I found it in my research. This is how I think when you bring up the UI of Part 3, this is how I think it's gonna be. You'll be able to go like this. I'm going to travel over to, there it is right there. I'm gonna go to Wutai. Oh my god. Round Island. The North Pole is the northern crater. And just be able to rotate the globe and travel the globe. Whew. That is so exciting to me. Like, you got a full world map in Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Final Fantasy VII R Part 3. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I just want to keep doing it. So this was a really cool website. I'm so happy that I found it. And I think that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video, to kind of show you why I think Part 3 is going to be incredibly massive in scale. And there's so much more to talk about of why I think it's going to be epic. And just like, you know how back in '97 when they advertised Final Fantasy VII almost as a movie, right? Like, it was like the one that will never come to the silver screen, you know, like all this other stuff. I think Part 3 is going to be that movie magic, like just epic scale. And now we're talking new locations, new regions, and a world map, the sky, underwater, and a full world map, like a full globe. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, man, thank you so much for watching. Please, you know, subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to be, you know, doing a whole lot more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth talk. I do want to say a quick word about the spoiler cast. Listen, all right, the story of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there were some imperfections in my masterpiece, in my dream, okay? Now, I have used the analogy of a dream car. All right, I had this is my dream car, and I got it. It runs like a dream. It looks like a dream. It is the dream car, but there's this gash going through the hood, right? So now I am hyper fixated on that one imperfection, and that's how I was in the spoiler cast, and I'm sorry. It might have come off a little negative. All right, I wish I didn't take 3 hours to dwell on that. I do apologize, but please understand, I think that game otherwise is a masterpiece. It's my favorite, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games in a very long time. Well, I don't know, 16 was amazing too. it's just one of those experiences. It was one of the best experiences I've had in a very long time. And I don't want the spoiler cast to make you think that I didn't like the game. There was just some things about it, you know, story-wise, that I'm gonna have some. I mean, I'm gonna have to buff it out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to buff it out for the next couple years, and hopefully we can get that little blemish to go away and make us be okay with it. And then part 3 might do the job for me. All right, so part 3 is coming. Anyways, I'm excited, and I'm going to be excited for part 3. And yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now. Bye bye then.